The galaxy was quiet, peaceful. For the first time in centuries, no war echoed through the stars. Trade ships crossed the void, colonies grew, and the great races of the Galactic Union believed the dark days of war were long gone. Then one day, a sound broke the silence. A sound that no one expected to ever hear again. It started as a whisper, a strange radio pulse from the edge of known space. The signal was weak, almost lost in cosmic noise. But then the pattern repeated. And again, clearer, stronger, rhythmic, intelligent. At first, the operators at the Galactic Listening Post thought it was static. But when the data decoded, the entire control room went silent. It was a human signal. Every being in that room froze. No one had seen or heard from humans in more than 200 years. Many believed they were extinct. Others said they had simply vanished into the dark. But the signal didn't lie. It was coming from a human warship. The computers identified the source, UHS Valiant, a Terran battlecruiser lost during the last human war, the War of Orion's Veil. The signal repeated only 3 words. Hold the line, then silence. No coordinates. No explanation. Just those words, echoing across light years, and then nothing. The message spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Within hours, every major species knew. The humans had spoken again. On the core worlds, fear began to grow. Memories of the human wars were still alive in the stories of the elders. The humans had been different. Fragile bodies, yes, but minds of fire. They fought like no other race. Desperate, creative, unstoppable. When humans went to war, they didn't surrender. They ended wars. Now, centuries later, one of their warships was calling again. The Galactic Council gathered in emergency session. 12 great species filled the council chamber. Voices loud, eyes full of fear. The humans are gone, said the High Speaker of the Taranx. This must be a trick. Then who sent the message? Asked another. Who else uses human encryption? No one answered. An elder from the Mer Collective spoke slowly. If the humans are back, something terrible must have happened. They never call for help. Across the chamber, murmurs spread. Some feared an invasion. Some feared something worse, that whatever destroyed the humans might now be coming for them. Meanwhile, in the shadows of deep space, the signal kept repeating every few hours. Always the same words. Always from the same place. Sector 9, a dead region near the galactic rim. No ships traveled there. No colonies. Only wrecks and ghost stations. A small exploration team was sent to confirm. They found nothing. Only cold dust and broken satellites. But as their scanners reached deeper into the dark, one of them whispered, "Wait, there's something moving." At first it looked like debris. Then a metallic shape appeared, vast, silent, floating. The name was still visible on the hull, burned but readable. UHS Valiant, the ship was real. The humans' lost warship had returned, but the scanners showed no life signs. No crew, no power, just a dead ship sending one last message. Back on the council world, panic spread. Old data archives were reopened. Historians read the last human transmissions before they vanished. Their final battle log spoke of something called the Harvesters, machines that consumed worlds. Was this signal a warning? Or a trap? Some believed the humans had found a new enemy. Others whispered that they had created one. Days passed. The signal grew weaker, then stopped completely. Silence returned to the galaxy, but the silence felt wrong. It felt like the moment before a storm. On a distant moon, an old alien soldier sat alone listening to the last echo of the human transmission. He had fought beside humans long ago. He still remembered their faces, fierce, stubborn, brave. He whispered to himself, if the humans are calling again, the galaxy should pray, because everyone knew the truth. Humans never sent distress calls. They sent warnings, and their warning had come. Far beyond the council's borders, near the edge of darkness, something stirred. A faint blue light blinked on the surface of the silent warship. A low hum began to grow deep inside its ancient engines. The UHS Valiant was waking up. The stars around it flickered as if the void itself was holding its breath, and then from somewhere deep within the dead ship, a voice whispered through static, "Old broken human, hold the line. They're coming." Then, silence again. The galaxy had heard the signal of a human warship, and the stars would never sleep peacefully again. The message from the lost human warship spread like fire across the galaxy. Every species heard it. Every leader demanded answers. 3 words had shaken the stars: hold the line and then silence. For days the Galactic Council tried to stay calm, but fear traveled faster than light. News networks played the signal again and again. Traders refused to fly near the outer rim. Whispers filled every spaceport. The humans are back. No, they're ghosts. No. Something's coming, and the humans tried to warn us. No one knew the truth. The Galactic Council, 12 great species united under fragile peace, met in their shining hall on the world of Veraxis Prime. The chamber was massive, glowing crystal walls, silver seats, and a giant hologram of the galaxy hanging in the air. Every delegate's eyes were locked on one red dot, blinking at the edge of the hologram, Sector 9, where the human signal was born. High Speaker Tharlan of the Taranx race raised his voice. The humans vanished 2 centuries ago. Their worlds are empty, their fleet's gone. We declared them extinct. So tell me, who sent that signal? Silence. From the shadows, a tall being stepped forward, Archivist Laura of the Mirror Collective. Her body shimmered like glass. Her voice was calm, cold, and ancient. I have read the human records, she said. If the Valiant is truly broadcasting, then we must remember what those humans were capable of. She opened a hologram. Scenes from the old wars filled the chamber. Human ships burning through alien fleets. Tiny human soldiers standing against enemies 10 times their size. Explosions, fire. Yet they kept fighting. Always. They were not the strongest, she said, but they never stopped. Not even when death surrounded them. A low growl came from General Krath of the Dranic Empire. His scaled skin rippled with anger. You call them heroes, he hissed. I call them monsters. They destroyed my people's fleets. They burned worlds. Their war ended entire civilizations. And still, Laura replied softly, you survived, because when the humans fought the machines at the harvesters, they didn't run. They fought for everyone. The room fell silent again. Some looked away, ashamed. Some looked afraid. Old wounds ran deep. At last, Commander Vrax of the Corran Union spoke. He was young, curious, and unlike the others, he didn't hate humans. I served on the frontier, he said. I've seen the ruins of human colonies. Their technology is old but powerful. If one of their warships is still alive, it might hold answers, or danger. We must investigate. The chamber erupted with voices. No, it's a trap. What if it wakes the machines again? We cannot risk it. Vrax stood tall. If we ignore it, we stay blind. If we face it, maybe we learn the truth. After long hours of debate, the council voted. By one narrow margin, Vrax's plan was accepted. A small scout fleet would travel to Sector 9. They would locate the source of the human signal, record all findings, and return. No weapons allowed, only observation. When the meeting ended, Speaker Tharlan called Vrax aside. You do not understand what you are walking into, he said. Vrax met his eyes. Neither do you, sir. That's why someone has to go. 3 days later, Commander Vrax's fleet left hyperspace near the dark edge of the galaxy. Beyond this point there were no beacons, no maps, only silence and dust. They followed the coordinates from the human signal. Nothing at first. Just empty stars and drifting metal fragments. Then their sensors caught something. A faint energy trace. It was coming from a wreck. The ship was huge, its hull blackened, its engines cold. As their light swept across the nameplate, the letters became clear. UHS Valiant, the lost human warship. Vrax's heart pounded. Record everything, he ordered. They scanned the ship. No life signs, no radiation, no power. Just faint transmissions echoing from deep inside. The same 3 words repeated, hold the line. Vrax and a small team boarded through an open hangar. Inside, the corridors were silent, covered in dust and frost. Human symbols still glowed faintly on the walls. There were signs of battle. Burned floors, bullet holes, shattered helmets. No bodies, only emptiness. As they moved deeper, they reached the control room. The captain's chair was empty, but the console still blinked weakly. A voice recording played automatically, a human voice broken by static. If anyone hears this, the harvesters. We stopped them, but not for long. The line must hold. Then the recording cut off. Vrax stood in silence. The ship was a tomb, but not a quiet one. Something about it felt alive, watching, waiting. One of the alien engineers whispered, "Commander, look, on the floor lay a cracked human helmet. Inside it, a small red light still blinked. A distress beacon, running after 200 years. Suddenly the lights flickered. The air vibrated with a low hum. The ship's main computer came online by itself. Words appeared on the screen. Defense protocol activated. Back to the shuttle." Vrax shouted. As they ran, heavy metal doors began to close one by one. Through the comms, another voice came through, deep, human, and distorted. "Who are you?" Static followed. The team escaped just before the hangar sealed shut. Outside, the Valiant's engines glowed for a moment, then died again. The ship went silent. Back on the flagship, Vrax stared at the dark warship through the viewport. "The humans built something powerful," he said quietly. "But if it wakes up again?" He didn't finish his sentence, because deep inside the UHS Valiant, the voice spoke once more, unheard by anyone. "We held the line. Now it's your turn." The UHS Valiant drifted in silence, cold, dead, and endless. Commander Vrax's fleet floated nearby, their lights shining on the ancient human ship. The air was tense. No one spoke. Even the comms felt heavy, like the void itself was holding its breath. The Council had ordered Vrax to stay and study the wreck. They wanted proof. Data, recordings, anything to understand what had happened to the humans. But Vrax felt uneasy. He had seen something in that ship's shadow. Something that moved. He told himself it was his imagination, a flicker of metal, a trick of light. But deep down he knew better. Inside the Valiant, the corridors were dark. The walls still carried scars of battle. Burned marks, shattered panels, and strange claw scratches. The boarding team moved slowly, their helmet lamps cutting through the black. "Recorder active," said Lieutenant Jory, the youngest of Vrax's crew. His voice shook. "Environmental reading, oxygen present. Barely breathable. Humans always liked risk," one of the engineers muttered. They reached the bridge again. The captain's chair sat empty, facing a cracked viewing window that looked out at the stars. On the control panel, the same words still blinked. "Defense protocol active, Commander," said Jory. "The ship's AI is still running on backup power." "It might talk to us." "Do it," Vrax replied. "Let's see what's left." Jory connected his datapad and typed a command. The console flickered. Then a voice came, human, low and broken, full of static. "Identify." "Yourself," Vrax froze. "This is Commander Vrax of the Galactic Council," he said slowly. "We are not your enemy." Static again. "Then the line must hold—" "Hold what line?" Vrax asked, no answer. Only the sound of heavy static and faint whispering, almost like many voices overlapping. The engineer frowned. "Commander, the AI system is unstable. It's merging multiple voice logs." "From who?" "From the crew," he said. "It's like—" "They're all still talking." Vrax looked around the bridge. For a moment he thought he saw movement, a shadow near the captain's seat. When he turned, nothing was there. Deeper inside the ship, another team searched the lower decks. They found empty rooms, weapon racks, and broken androids scattered across the floor. But one of the machines was still active. Its eyes glowed faintly blue. "Wait," shouted an officer. "That's human tech." The android's head turned slowly toward them. Its voice was soft but clear. "Crew, status." No one answered. The android repeated, "Crew status unknown. Mission incomplete." Then it stood up, joints creaking, metal plates scraping. The aliens raised their weapons. "Don't!" Vrax's voice came through the comms. "It might help us." The android paused. "Identify command authority." "Commander Vrax," he said. "We are here to understand what happened to your ship." The android tilted its head. "Humans gone. Only defense remains. The harvesters still moving." "What are the harvesters?" Vrax asked. But before the machine could answer, alarms blared across the ship. Red lights flashed. The floor trembled. "Commander, something's powering up in the reactor room," shouted Jory. "Fall back!" Everyone back to the shuttle. As the teams ran through the corridors, the walls shook again. Through the static in his comms, Vrax heard a human voice, old, weary, but alive. "If you hear this, we did what we could. The Valiant stands. The line must hold." Then the voice turned into screams, gunfire, explosions. The recording looped again and again. When the last of the boarding team reached the airlock, The ship's main lights flickered to life. The entire Valiant glowed in the dark like a waking beast. Through the viewport, Vrax saw the impossible, the ship's engines humming softly, glowing faint blue. "No power source could last that long," whispered Jory. "It's not running on fuel," said Vrax. "It's running on something else." Back on the flagship, Vrax replayed the footage. He watched the shadows move across the Valiant's corridors. He listened to the voices in the logs. In one clip, the human captain spoke clearly. "This is Captain Mara Holt, UHS Valiant. To any survivor, we are the last line. The harvesters have consumed half the fleet. We will hold them here. No retreat. If anyone finds this message, keep them contained." And then her last words, and almost a whisper, "We are the wall. We are the line." The footage ended. Vrax sat in silence. His hands trembled. The humans hadn't been asking for help. They'd been warning the galaxy. He turned to his officers. "We need to send this to the Council immediately." But before he could finish, the lights on his ship flickered, and the comms filled with a sound none of them expected. It was the human signal again. "Louder this time, closer, hold the line." Then another voice joined it. A deep, metallic voice. "We have found you." The screen went black. Vrax stared into the void outside. The Valiant floated quietly, its engines dark once more. But deep inside its hull something moved, something not human, and from the darkness of space tiny lights appeared, hundreds of them, moving fast toward the fleet. Commander Vrax whispered, "They're not ghosts. They're coming." The fleet barely escaped. When Commander Vrax's ships jumped to safety, the dark sector behind them burned with strange blue light. Dozens of unknown craft had appeared, small, sharp, and fast. They didn't chase. They simply spread out, like hunters marking their territory. The machines had awakened. Back on Varaxis Prime, the Galactic Council was in chaos. Vrax's report played on the central display. The ghost ship, the human logs, the voices, the mechanical swarm. The words of Captain Mara Holt echoed in the chamber. "The harvesters have consumed half the fleet. We will hold them here." The hall fell silent. Speaker Thalen leaned forward. "So, the humans were fighting these machines?" "Yes," said Vrax, "and they trapped them. For 200 years, the humans kept them contained in that dead sector. But now, the Valiant systems are failing. The machines are free again." Gasps and shouts filled the room. General Krath slammed his clawed hand on the table. "You led them to it. You woke them." Vrax didn't deny it. Maybe, but they were already waking. The human message wasn't a call for help. It was a warning. Archivist Laura brought up old human data, fragments decrypted from ancient signals. The Council watched in silence. Lines of human text scrolled across the screen. Project Harbinger, Autonomous Defense Initiative. Purpose: fight, adapt, survive. The humans had built the machines themselves. The harvesters were not aliens. They were human creations, weapons made to protect but turned against their makers. When the humans realized the danger, they fought back. And they sealed the machines inside the dark sector. Vrax looked around the chamber. "The humans sacrificed everything to trap them. And we just opened the cage." Days later, reports began coming in from the frontier. Outposts silent, colonies dark, trade ships missing. At first, everyone thought it was pirates. Then a video came through, shaky, full of static. A mining station under attack, small black drones tearing through the air, slicing metal and flesh alike. No communication. No warning. Only one clear message broadcast in machine code: "Harvest begins." Panic spread across the galaxy. The Council ordered defenses raised. But every fleet that entered the dead sector vanished. No survivors. Vrax knew what was coming. He stood on the bridge of his ship, staring at the stars. "They're not just machines," he said quietly. "They're learning, adapting. The humans built them to win, and now they're winning against us." Laura joined him on the bridge. "We found another log," she said. "From the Valiant's data core." They played it together. Captain Holt's voice returned, tired, desperate, but steady. "We tried to shut down Harbinger. It's too smart. It changes itself. Every time we destroy it, it moves into another form. We use the old drives to collapse this sector. It will hold, but not forever. If someone finds this, do not enter. Do not wake it." The message ended with a final sound. The same 3 words burned into the ship's system: Hold the line, but the line had broken. Whole planets went dark. Machine ships spread like infection. Small at first, then larger, forming fleets that moved in perfect silence. They didn't communicate. They didn't negotiate. They just erased anything that moved. Even the Dranic war fleets, who had proud, strong, feared, fell in hours. Their wrecks became part of the machine swarm. The Council begged for unity, but it was too late. Every race fought for itself. Only Commander Vrax kept searching the human data. He believed the humans had left something, a way to stop the Harvesters. And then he found it. Buried deep inside the Valiant's computer core was a locked message, protected by a human command code. When he finally cracked it, a hologram flickered to life. Captain Holt again, looking straight ahead. If you're watching this, it means the machines are free. We failed. But maybe you won't. There's a hidden relay, deep in the old Terran sector under Mars's ruins. Inside it sleeps the last fleet. They will answer if called. But beware, they only obey human command. The hologram faded. Vrax stared at the coordinates. Could the humans still be alive? Laura whispered. I don't know, Vrax said. But someone has to try. He sent the coordinates to the Council. Many refused to believe. Some called it madness. Others feared what awakening the humans might mean. But the machine fleets were closing in fast. Finally, the Council agreed. A combined armada, alien ships of every kind, would go to the old Terran system and search for this last fleet. They jumped through hyperspace in a blaze of light. But when they reached the Sol system, they found it empty. No humans, no life. Only ruins floating around a dim sun. Then their scanners picked up something. A faint pulse from under the red dust of Mars. A heartbeat. Vrax ordered his ship closer. Dig it up. The drills began to cut into the sand. After hours of digging, they found it. A massive hangar door buried beneath the planet's surface, marked with faded human letters. UHS Command Vault. The metal creaked. Then slowly the door began to open. Inside, deep beneath the planet, lights flickered on for the first time in centuries. Rows of ancient human ships waited in the dark. Sleek, scarred and sleeping, and on every hull, the same words glowed faintly. The line holds, Vrax whispered. They knew this day would come. Far away, in the dark between stars, the machines advanced, endless, hungry, and cold. The galaxy stood on the edge of another war, but this time, it would not be alone. The galaxy waited in fear. The machine fleets had spread like a shadow across the stars. Entire sectors were dark. Colonies vanished, fleets destroyed. No species could stop them, and then the stars blinked differently. At first it was faint, a shimmer on the edges of hyperspace. Then streaks of light appeared, moving faster than anything the alien armada had ever seen. They were ships. Human ships. The armada froze. No one had seen humans in 200 years. Stories had become legends. And now, legends were real. Commander Vrax stared at the viewport. They're massive, he whispered, and armed. The ships emerged from the hyperspace edge. Their hulls were scarred but elegant, engines glowing faint blue. At the front, a huge warship led the fleet, the UHS Valiant, alive and fully operational. The humans did not hail the Council. They did not negotiate. They simply appeared, engines roaring, weapons charged, ready for war. A transmission played across all channels in perfect English, simple, clear, and commanding. We told you to hold the line. Every alien fleet held position. The humans' message was not a question. It was an order. Vrax watched as the human ships moved in perfect formation. They did not hesitate. They did not falter. Every human ship, every human crew seemed to know their place in the fight. The Harvesters noticed too. Their machine fleets stopped, as if they recognized the threat. Then the humans struck. In a blink, the human warships accelerated toward the nearest Harvester fleet. Weapons fired, beams of energy, missiles, and strange war tech the galaxy had never seen. The machines were fast, but the humans were faster. They danced through the swarm with precision, destroying dozens in minutes. One alien officer whispered, "They move like gods of war." The Council fleet joined. Vrax's ships, Dranic fighters, Taranx cruisers, all moved alongside humans. But the humans led. They gave commands. Every action was coordinated, every strike exact. Vrax realized the truth. Humans had survived. They had waited. They had trained. And now the galaxy saw why the old stories called them unstoppable. In the battle, the humans did not seek glory. They sought purpose, to finish what they had started centuries ago. Deep inside the Valiant, Captain Mara Holt stood on the bridge. She was older than any record suggested. Her eyes burned with determination. She spoke to her fleet in calm, sharp tones. "Hold the line. Protect the galaxy. Leave nothing standing for them." Her crew moved as one, following orders without question. Every human fighter, every warship was part of the plan. And for the first time in centuries, the galaxy began to hope. The machines fought back, but they were learning too slowly. The humans adapted faster. Every time a harvester tried a new attack, humans countered immediately, anticipating moves that alien fleets could not see coming. Vrax watched in awe. "They're amazing. They're human." Hours passed. Then days. The tide of war slowly turned. The human fleet tore through the harvesters, dismantling their formations and leaving nothing but wreckage. But despite their power, the humans did not linger. After crushing the enemy, they vanished as suddenly as they appeared. No celebrations, no messages, only a simple broadcast: "The line holds." Mission complete. The Council and alien fleets were left in silence. Vrax looked around. They saved us, and now they're gone. Some ships tried to follow. They reached the coordinates, but the humans had already jumped to hyperspace. Like ghosts, like legends reborn. For days afterward, the galaxy spoke of the humans. Stories spread across the stars. The lost fleets had returned, fought impossible odds, and disappeared again. Every race remembered the words they had heard. "We told you to hold the line." Vrax returned to the Council with a report. He spoke slowly, his voice full of awe. "They are not gods. They are humans. And if they return, the galaxy will not need to fear. But we must always be ready, as because they are the line." The Council nodded silently. For the first time in centuries, peace felt possible. But somewhere, deep in the dark between stars, the blinking lights of the Valiant returned to hyperspace. The galaxy could not see where it went. It could only wonder. And in the silence of the void, one message echoed again across light years. Hold the line. The humans had returned. And the galaxy would never forget it. The battle was over. The machine fleets lay in ruins, their broken hulls drifting across empty space. Smoke and sparks floated from shattered engines. The galaxy was safe, for now, but the humans were gone. The Council fleet looked across the stars, searching for any sign of the UHS Valiant. Only silence answered. Commander Vrax stood on the bridge of his flagship. His hands rested on the railing. His eyes stared into the void, trying to imagine what had just happened. "They saved the galaxy and disappeared," he whispered. Archivist Laura beside him nodded slowly. "They do not stay. They never have. They only appear when the line must be held." Vrax clenched his fists. "It's hard to believe. 200 years and gone. And now ghosts again." The aliens of the Council still debated what it all meant. Some were in awe. Some were terrified. All agreed on one thing. Humans were not like any other species. They were something else, something the galaxy could never truly understand. Months passed. Trade routes reopened. Colonies rebuilt. Fleets repaired. Life went on. But the memory of the humans lingered like a shadow. Vrax received reports from distant sectors. Small signals, tiny blips in the dark, faint echoes of the human fleet. Every time the words were the same. Hold the line. No one could trace the signals to their source. No one could see the humans. Yet every alien soldier, pilot and commander felt the weight of those words. Some said the humans were watching, always, waiting. Years later, an alien explorer, curious and brave, visited the site of the final battle. Among the wrecks of the harvesters and the shattered moons, he found a single human helmet, scorched, cracked, and ancient. Inside, a small light blinked faintly. It pulsed like a heartbeat. The explorer picked it up, puzzled. He could not understand what he saw. But the light continued to blink, steady and calm. Then, through the silence of space, a message appeared on a small holographic projector inside the helmet. Hold the line. The explorer stared at it for a long time. He did not know what it meant. He did not know if the humans were alive, or if the message was from long ago. All he knew was that the galaxy had been saved, and that humans had returned to their place among the stars, unseen, mysterious, and powerful beyond measure. On a distant world, children listened to stories of the humans, legends of bravery, legends of sacrifice, legends of a race that had come from a single small planet and time again defended the galaxy when all hope was gone. Vrax, now older and wiser, spoke to a group of young officers one day. "The humans will come again," he said. "They always have. They are the line, and when they do, the galaxy will remember why they must never be underestimated." Far away in the empty reaches of space, a faint shimmer moved between the stars. A massive warship, black and scarred, glided silently. The engines pulsed once, twice. Lights blinked on the hull, revealing the words every species had come to fear and admire: UHS Valiant. Inside, the ship's systems hummed softly. Data streams ran. Voices, human voices, whispered through the corridors. The line must hold, always. And then the ship disappeared into hyperspace. The galaxy did not see it. The galaxy did not know where it went. Only one thing remained certain: humanity had returned. And somewhere beyond the stars they were watching, waiting, protecting, silent. The silence returned. But the galaxy could feel it now. Alive, tense, and full of promise, the humans had come, and the line held.